A Holocaust survivor here in Chicago is speaking out as the city has seen an increase in anti-Jewish hate crimes.
NBC5's Patrick Fazio joins us now in studio with more on this story. Such an important perspective to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, that's right, Marion and Alex. He's speaking out because he wants to remind people about the Holocaust, especially during the Jewish holidays of Rosh Hashanah this week and Yom Kippur next week. The now 87-year-old Chicago resident says what led to World War II could happen again unless we learn from history.
It was a terrible experience for everybody, and I saw a lot of people dying.
At just 7 years old, Michael Lowenthal and his parents became prisoners in Europe during the Holocaust just for being Jewish.
Important for people to know what happens when you have governments who promote hatred, as what happened in Germany.
He was locked up for a couple of years as a boy in Nazi concentration camps, including Bergen-Belsen in Germany, where his mom and dad died.
I don't want people to feel sorry for me or anything like that, but I think it's just important to know that it can happen here.
That's why earlier this year he brought his children and family members from Chicago to visit the Nazi camp where he last saw his parents.
It was so surreal to think about that my dad and his parents were in this situation, and here we are 80 years later experiencing it.
Michael's son Andy now serves as a board member for the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center.
This museum and the museum in Washington and of course around the world, they play such an important part in making sure, in educating people and making them understand what happened not too long ago.
Andy and his father are worried about the recent rise of anti-Semitism around the world and here in Chicago.
It's scary and frightening to know that there are so many of these white hate groups here, and that anti-Semitism is both in the left and the right.
According to city data, anti-Jewish hate crimes in Chicago increased 58% last year, even though hate crimes overall in the city dropped more than 25%.
I could be a victim just because of hatred, and that's just something that really frightens me. Hopefully there's enough good people, enough people who can understand what happened, again, not very long ago, and that can be a driving force for making sure that this doesn't get to where we were.
Now, the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center encourages victims of anti-Semitism to reach out for resources and help. The museum also welcomes teachers to bring students on field trips to learn lessons of the Holocaust and other genocides. And by the way, Marion and Alex, the museum is in a temporary location in River North because the permanent location in suburban Skokie is being renovated until next summer.
Such important information.
Absolutely.
Got to remind people.
I can only think of the emotions that they must have had on that trip when they went back to